Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Business Live. Coming up, President John Mahama appeals to farmers to accept new policy directive in cocoa sector as government works to mitigate impact of crashing global prices of the commodity.
Any policy decision, we know that it has an effect on farmers, and we feel it ourselves. If there's no fertilizer, if the price of fertilizer is expensive, I feel it myself because I also buy fertilizer.
Also in this bulletin, Bank of Ghana dismisses claims its digital innovation and virtual assets will undermine or replace the Ghana cedi.
Reiterates that the Ghana cedi is a sovereign currency of the country, and allowing innovation to facilitate exchange of value has nothing to do with relegating our currency.
Plus, businesses engage Ghana Association of Banks to design more flexible loan products to help expand the operations.
Private sector can have access to funding because the point is still the same. If it is cheap and you cannot access it, it is equally expensive.
We have details of this and more coming your way all in a moment. Please stay. Thanks so much for your company. I am Pius Kujubaka. Let's begin with some cocoa-related stories. President John Mahama has appealed to farmers to accept the new policy directive taken by the government to reduce prices of cocoa and to process about 50% of the produce locally. According to him, most tree crops have been affected by global price movements, hence the need to make such an intervention. Speaking at the Tree Crop Summit here in Accra, he noted that the situation has affected all cocoa-producing countries.
Recently, we've had a crisis with cocoa. It hasn't affected only Ghana. It's affected all cocoa-producing countries. And it shows how unstable raw material exports are if you don't process and add value. And that means that we must take advantage of this crisis to make a pivotal change in how we handle our raw exports. And we've exported raw beans since Gordon Gaggisberg's time. For those of you who don't know Gordon Gaggisberg, he was one of the colonial governors. And Ghana at that time was the leading exporter of cocoa. And to think that in the 21st century, we're still the largest leading exporter of raw cocoa beans, that is not an accolade we should take pride in. We should take pride in being the leading exporter of manufactured cocoa products. And so this crisis must mark a turning point in our cocoa industry. As I explained when I spoke in Addis, we collateralize the beans and they give us money to buy the cocoa and export. So because of that, we cannot even allocate enough of the beans to our local processors. And that's why government took the decision that we should change the funding cycle of cocoa by raising the money locally in cedis, paying the farmers, and then allocating a certain portion of the cocoa beans to our processing capacity, and even increase the capacity to process locally, so that we can create jobs within our value system and also stabilize the price of the cocoa that we produce.
While longer on cocoa matters, because we know Cocoa Board's executive management and senior staff have announced salary reductions for the remainder of the 2025-2026 crop season, citing liquidity challenges in the cocoa industry. In a statement issued by Cocoa Board, it says its executive management has taken 20% pay cut, while senior staff have accepted a 10% salary reduction. And the institution said that the move is part of a broader cost-cutting drive to reduce expenditure and align operational costs with revenue. Let's analyze these issues further. Joining us via Zoom are Samuel Adimadu, President of the Licensed Cocoa Buyers Association, and Nana Boating Bonso, former General, who is also the President of the Concerned Cocoa Farmers Association. Gentlemen, thank you so much for making time to join us here on Business Live. I'd like to start off with you, Samuel. What do you make of this measure taken by Cocoa Board in terms of the cost-cutting initiative? Samuel, please unmute for me. All right, so Samuel, are you on? All right, so let me try and speak to Nana Obuadi Opambo, the former general of the president of the Concerned Farmers Association. And I want to know your thoughts about Cocoa Board's decision. For you, is it fair, considering the challenges you are facing?
Yeah, well, thank you very much, and then pleasant evening to your viewers. Well, when I heard the news that Cocoa Board has also reduced or cut down the salary of their workers, I was surprised, and then I was very much surprised, all because we said it, and then we thought maybe it's not going to work. But then at the end of the day, I have realized that Dr. Randy Abe is somebody that listening, which is time for we the farmers to take advantage of this to send most of our challenges to him for the problem to be solved. Because we said this, that why is it that our cocoa has been reduced and then their salary is still like that and then they have not reduced their salary. But at the end of the day, their salary have been reduced. This shows that the government is a listening government. The CEO of Cocoa Board, he do listening and he has really listening to us. But it's up to we the farmers to also to take advantage of this by engaging him frequently for him to know the challenges that is happening within the sector, especially with the cocoa trees that now it is in danger that they are even cutting it, that we are not seeing anybody talking about it. I think it is a laudable idea.
All right, that's good to know. At least you like the move. But really, for you, how will this reduction in the price we are learning affect your plans for future cocoa production and investment largely?
Well, I'm a businessman and I'm a farmer as well. And all of us have to know that in life, it's not stable. It goes up and down. Tomorrow you go to the market and then the price of rice might be reduced. You go to the market, the price of cement might increase. As I'm talking to you now, the price of fuel is down now. We don't even know when it will go up, but then we are enjoying it because it is down. So now that the price is down, we have to adjust ourselves by enduring it and then work very hard towards the next season, because at the end of the day, it's not going to stay where it is. It will by all means rise up and then go up. That is why I'm telling all farmers that they shouldn't be disappointed at all, because I know what is coming. I know what is really coming. And what is coming, it is bigger than even the 3,625 that we are receiving. All because the cocoa price will shoot up. It will not be as it is as at now. And then thinking about Cote d'Ivoire and then the neighboring countries and other things, sometimes you don't have to do comparison about these countries, because the kind of thing that we have here, they don't have it. We have the board, they don't have the board. We have some incentives and other things from the government, they don't have it. So at the end of the day, we need to adjust. All that we have to do is, now that we know that the Cocoa Board do listen, we need to hit the nail. We need to hit it very hard. We need to get to them and then let them know our challenges, what is really happening to us. And I even think that even with this price that is being claimed, that a lot of farmers and we ourselves, we are making noise that is not good here and there. I think this is the time that we need to get closer to the CEO, to dialogue, or to the president, for him to know that this is the situation on the ground. And when you do this and that for us to help us, that is the welfare that I'm talking about. Because Cocoa Board, farmers have been complaining seriously about their welfare, which I think Cocoa Board have to look at that thing very well and then also make it nice for us, so that at the end of the day, we will protect the cocoa trees as we are protecting it each and every day.
Meantime, the president is appealing to cocoa farmers like yourself to accept the new policy directive, looking at the global price dynamics and the debt situation facing the sector. And that's a fair argument to make, right?
Yeah, well, I'm seriously disappointed in the president. Why am I saying this? Because we have drawn an attention or notice to their executives that we, the farmers, want to meet the president. There are some pressing issues that we want to know. You see, it's good that the president is saying that he's pleading on us to accept it, but then we also, as he is telling us to accept it, we also have something that is very serious that we need to discuss with him. What about
all right, let me see what I can.
A program that they launched it or they went and. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can. Quickly for me, if you can do that for me.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, with this tree crop that they went in, you see, they have a tree crop, how they call it, all of them went to the place. But let us ask that, how many cocoa farmers or how many people were part of this tree crop thing that they went and do? Cocoa is the heart of the country and it is going down. So what we are saying is we do appreciate his effort. We do appreciate the pride that he said we should accept it. We are still with him. But at the end of the day, there's something that we need to meet him and then discuss, which is very important that I think from today up to by the end of the 6th March, we need to meet the president and then discuss this issue. Other than
all right, let's go now to Samuel. And I think, Nana, your point is well made. I appreciate it. Your point is well made. And I would like to hear from Samuel as well, the president of the Licensed Cocoa Buyers Association. Samuel, thank you so much for your time here on Business Live. I can hear you much better. And initially, I wanted to pick your thoughts about Cocoa Board's decision to cut, or basically cut costs by way of measure in streamlining this expenditure.
Yes, thank you very much, Pius. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, much clearer now.
Yes, thank you and good evening to your listeners. Yes, Pius, the position of Cocoa Board is an indication that they are, one, listeners, they are active participants and committed in addressing the challenges that we are confronted with. So I'll congratulate Cocoa Board, the entire staff of Cocoa Board for taking that bold initiative. It's an admission that, yes, we have a challenge. They are also part of it. And together, we would address it. As my brother, the farmer, indicated, that this is also an indication that they are listening. And therefore, we need to take advantage of the current management, that they are listening management, so that we together, we address all the concerns that has been in the airwaves and those that we haven't even aired out. I also use this opportunity to thank the farmers that they have accepted, and then together they have shown the commitment that they would contribute, say what needs to be mentioned, so that we address the challenges we have in the cocoa sector, and also the assurance that he has indicated that price will not remain as low as it is. And it's important to educate the farmers that the strategy, as has been announced by government and Cocoa Board, are all strategies to position yourself in the market, that you take advantage of the best price that one can derive. So I'm very happy.
Has Cocoa Board initiated any steps to try to settle the debt owed to you?
Yes, our debt is a huge concern, and as I keep on indicating that for some of the debts which are heavily with the banks, we are still engaging with Cocoa Board to see how they can help us in terms of the reform strategy that is coming up. If you look at we borrowing at the interest rate of 35 to 40% in a margin that is fixed, in all fixed environment, the only window of opportunity you have is being efficient. And we have been doing this, as I indicated, for the past 7 years. And it's just this buying model that, of course, we couldn't take care of all the farmers that the issue has come up. But we are talking to Cocoa Board to see how One, immediately we get paid of all the bean that we've supplied, so that we can also take care of our farmers, and then also to discuss with Cocoa Board of the challenges that we've gone through over the 7 years to see how we address them.
Mr. Adimedu, let me find this from you. Are your members open to any debt restructuring since government of Ghana is taking over the debt of Cocoa Board? Are you?
You know, our debt is a commercial debt. It doesn't sit with government. It sits with various banks. It's people's money that we've paid from various banks. So ideally, it depends on the banks, individual banks with different boards for them to look at that. If government can also, as we've indicated, government should also talk to the banks to see how we address this issue. So we are open to all options, options that will enable us to survive. As I indicated, some of our members have already collapsed, and being collapsed doesn't mean your debt has been written off. So we are open to all options available, so that once the reform opportunity has come up, we will also engage and make sure that we get the best.
All right. Thank you very much, Samuel Adimedu. Thank you very much for speaking to us here on Business Live. Let's pause for a breather. I'll be right back. Hello, welcome back to Business Live. The Bank of Ghana has dismissed claims that digital innovation and virtual assets will undermine or replace the Ghana cedi. Head of FinTech and Innovation at the Central Bank, Uriku Asari, says digital financial developments are intended to complement the country's financial system and not relegate the local currency. He was speaking at the inaugural Ghana Virtual Assets and Financial Services Symposium organized by the Chamber of Digital Assets Ghana and Blockchain Innovation Ghana chapter.
FinTech at the Bank of Ghana, Uriku Asari, emphasized that while virtual asset and blockchain technologies present new opportunities, they must operate within clearly defined regulatory boundaries. He maintained that virtual asset and blockchain technologies will ensure efficiency within the financial sector.
Let me just reiterate that the Ghana cedi is a sovereign currency of the country. And allowing innovation to facilitate exchange of value has nothing to do with relegating our currency. So if you quite remember, some time back, communication between individuals or even institutions was via telex. Then it got to fax, right? And now we have emails. What did email do? The infrastructure of email can be related to what? The internet. And then allowing Gmail to be able to be accepted on Yahoo is what we call that virtual asset sitting on top of the blockchain to allow for the exchange of value. That does not mean that communication itself has been distorted.
Meanwhile, President of the Virtual Assets Chamber, Caleb Kwekwa-Faglo, stressed the need for Ghana to strategically tap into the growing digital asset ecosystem to support economic growth.
Virtual assets has come to stay, whether we like it or not. Ghana is about to take part in a multi-trillion-dollar industry, and the Bank of Ghana and SEC and FIC have been tremendous in passing the bill into an act, which is the Act 1154. And they've been tremendous with the industry. Instead of using a stick, they've been using carrots with us, but they correct us when we are going wrong. So they've done tremendous work with the industry thus far. Hence the reason why we've put together the symposium to bring the regulator together as much as we can bring the industry together.
The symposium brought together regulators, fintech operators, policymakers and industry stakeholders to explore how Ghana can leverage digital innovations while safeguarding monetary and financial stability.
Now, the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry has initiated discussions with the Ghana Association of Banks regarding persistent concerns over the affordability and accessibility of funds for businesses. There is more in this report. Even with the economy showing signs of recovery and stability, Many businesses, particularly small and medium-sized enterprises, continue to face significant hurdles when trying to access financing. The Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry has highlighted that high interest rates and stringent collateral requirements remain major deterrents, making it difficult for businesses to expand, innovate, and create jobs. Speaking at a high-level engagement with the Ghana Association of Banks, President of the Chamber, Stefan Mazen Abbas, emphasized that while macroeconomic figures might paint a promising picture, the real impact on businesses on the ground is often different. They are therefore advocating for more flexible lending policies and lower interest rates to truly empower the private sector to thrive.
We've been working and speaking about it and advocating that the Bank of Ghana has made effort. It's on the flip side of it that we also have to work with the banks to ensure that accessibility becomes a thing of the present, that private sector can have access to funding, because the point is still the same. If it is cheap and you cannot access it, it is equally expensive. So we can only do that with the association. We can't go to the individual banks. So we came here this morning to be able to speak to them. We brought with us members of the chamber, of the private sector, from industry, from trade, commerce, and all of that, to be able to also share their experiences with the association, the banking association, so that they can understand from us our pain and then the hustle we go through to be able to access this funding.
In response, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana. We shall bring you the full story subsequently, but that's it for Business Life. I am Pius Kujubaka.